As many might know, ancient Egypt was a civilization located in the northeast of Africa, primarily concentrated along the lower stretches of the Nile River in what is now the modern country of Egypt. Although the civilization is long gone, the ancient Egyptians achieved remarkable feats, including quarrying, surveying, and constructing monumental structures such as pyramids, temples, and obelisks. They developed a sophisticated system of mathematics, implemented irrigation systems, built the earliest known planked boats, contributed to new forms of literature, and established the earliest known peace treaty with the Hittites. But perhaps most famously, they created an independent writing system known as Egyptian hieroglyphics, which was used for recording the Egyptian language. The language of ancient Egypt, also known as Egyptian or Ancient Egyptian, is an extinct Afro-Asiatic language that was once widely spoken in ancient Egypt. Its existence is currently understood through a substantial body of surviving texts, which became accessible to the modern world in the 1820s, following the decipherment of ancient Egyptian scripts by Jean-Francois Champollion, aided significantly by the Rosetta Stone. Egyptian stands as one of the earliest written languages, initially documented in the hieroglyphic script during the late 4th millennium BC. Remarkably, it holds the distinction of being the longest recorded human language, with a written record spanning over 4,000 years. But sadly, the Egyptian language has become extinct, leaving only the Egyptian hieroglyphs as a testament to its past existence. Presently, the population of Egypt communicates through a range of dialects. The prevalent dialect in Egypt is Egyptian Arabic, or Masra, serving as a vernacular language and rooted in the dialect of the capital city, Cairo. Concurrently, literary Arabic holds the status of the official language of Egypt and is the most extensively used in writing. But these two points in Egyptian history are separated by thousands of years, so it raises the question: when did the ancient Egyptian language die out? As is frequently the case, the interpretation of the terms Egyptian language and die hinges on one's definitions. By approximately the 3rd century CE, the Egyptian language had transformed into its most recent iteration, what we know as Coptic. Coptic utilized the Coptic alphabet, essentially an adaptation of the Greek alphabet with a few supplementary characters assimilated from the Egyptian Demotic script, which was used in the Nile Delta. The decline of hieroglyphic writing, which had persisted for an extended period, ultimately culminated in its complete extinction around the 5th century CE. This demise was notably accelerated by the conversion of the Roman Empire to Christianity. The Egyptian populace, having embraced Christianity, strongly linked hieroglyphics with the pagan beliefs of their past, leading to a disdain for the script as contradictory to their newly adopted religion. The Coptic language thrived in both oral and written forms during the remaining duration of Roman governance in Egypt. Subsequently, from 639 to 642 CE, the Rashidun Caliphate successfully conquered Egypt from the Roman Empire. This is where numerous misconceptions formed regarding the events that transpired as Egypt along with the broader Middle East and North Africa as they fell under Islamic rule. In contrast to common assumptions, the Rashidun and Umayyad caliphates did not impose Islam and Arabic language through coercive means, nor did they engage in mass killings in replacement of the populace with Arab Muslim settlers. In the 7th century CE, the predominant language spoken by the majority of Egyptians was Coptic, and they adhered to the Maphaiasite Christian faith. During the later years of Roman governance, a substantial burden of tax was imposed on nearly all Egyptians by the Roman state, predominantly administered by Greek-speaking Chalcedonian Christians. Upon assuming control, the Rashidun Caliphate generally implemented a strategy of appointing Arabic-speaking Muslim governors to govern regions that, initially, were predominantly non-Arab speaking and non-Muslim. The Caliphate permitted the conquered populations to retain their religions and languages, provided they paid an annual tax to the Caliphate known as the jizya. This tax arrangement was not significantly different from the taxes levied by the Roman state before the Caliphate's takeover. For the majority of Egyptians in the 7th century CE, the transition to Islamic rule would have appeared quite similar in practice to the preceding late Roman rule. The key distinction lay in the shift from obeying and paying taxes to Greek-speaking Chalcedonian Christians to Arabic-speaking Muslims. The Islamization of the Middle East and North Africa, including Egypt, unfolded gradually over centuries. Surprisingly, a significant portion of Egypt's population persisted in being Christian and speaking the Coptic language for many centuries, even under Islamic governance. It took several centuries, occurring approximately between the 10th and 12th century CE, around 300 to 500 years after the initial conquest by the Rashidun Caliphate, before Islam supplanted Christianity as the dominant religion in Egypt, and Arabic replaced Coptic as the predominant language. Despite this immense transformation, the Coptic language persisted as a minority language in Egypt for many centuries, until it eventually faded as a spoken vernacular between the 17th and 19th centuries CE. In the present day, while Coptic is no longer spoken as a living language, it continues to serve as the liturgical language of the Coptic Orthodox Church. This has been me, Jack, and if you're in Egypt right now, please leave a comment down below.